I told you there would be a moment. Well, guess what? The moment's here. The fight is coming. Let's go.
And fought for the championship, and he did it. It's to meet you here. It's once in a lifetime. Thank you for being here.
Sir, thank you.
And we hope we have you here fighting, not being here.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
And that is the vision of Skill Challenge Promotions moving forward. The biggest fights, the best fights, all networks, all promoters, all fighters to deliver the fights that the fans want to see and deserve for the sport of boxing. Let me turn it over to you, Mike.
Yes, I'm here.
What are your thoughts during your time? Of course, there was the promotion, there's the business of boxing. We've talked about it for several years.
Yes.
How does this, the vision of Prince Khalid, change the landscape of boxing?
Well, it changes in one fundamental perspective, that in boxing, all of the money, if everything's not on the table in boxing, there's always something underneath the table. The whole thing is not on the table. And that's where boxing has this first fundamental problem, not telling the truth. Being promoters and managers, they all work together, believe it or not. Even though they're nemesis, they still work together.
Is that possible, Mike? Is it possible for promoters to be able to work together?
Hey, listen, it has nothing to do with being a moral person. If you have a good moral compass, anybody can work together. It's just that they're not going into this negotiation with good intentions. For the fighter, at least.
Sure. Devin, this is your first time in Saudi Arabia. Welcome to the country. Welcome to the kingdom.
Thank you for having me.
Prince Khalid, by the way, when our list of guests came up, he said, I would love to have Devin here. He thinks the world of you going into hostile territory, going to Australia to fight for the title, and then not only did you fight for the title, you went back and defended it in his country. Your father led your career, and he's done a wonderful job leading the career. And you stayed away kind of from certain obstacles, aligned with certain promoters. Even in terms of trainers, you've had your share of trainers along your career. So you're really kind of out there working with everybody. Is that almost aligned with the vision of Prince Khalid of making sure that you leave your options open and working with everybody?
Yes, the sport of boxing it will be much bigger and much better if all the promoters and everybody work together to make the biggest fights happen. And that's what Prince Khalid is doing. And I think it's going to push boxing much further, and the best fights are going to happen.
What's next for Devin Haney?
Yeah, what's next is Vasyl Lomachenko on May 20th, and inshallah, we can do it here in Saudi Arabia.
Derek, I'll turn it over to you. You are one of the most outspoken personalities in the sport. You have been around Prince Khalid for quite a while, probably longer than most fighters have been around, and you've seen his vision. He's talked to you about the vision, and in your own right, currently, you are the example of this vision of not signing exclusively to any promoter and working with several of them. What are your thoughts on Prince Khalid's vision and Skill Challenge Promotions moving forward in this vision?
Sorry, 1 second. It's a great vision. One thing I always understand in boxing, you get a phone call. You goes, "Oh, you're fighting on this day, and we're going to pay this much money." And you're trying to get more money. They don't give you more money. But what Prince Khalid is coming with, saying, "Listen, come fight here. This is what's in the pot, and this is your money in the next couple of days." And that's great. Other promoters, they take off the table. I remember having a fight, massive fight. By the time I got my money, I ended up walking away with almost like £30,000, from 300,000. So, what Prince Khalid is saying, it's amazing. And I'm all for that, to be honest with you. If you want to get paid, come see the boss.
Mike, that's a stereotype. I think we're better in business than anybody else.
No, 100%. I've seen it through AJ Usyk, and I'm happy to be part of this venture, to be honest with you.
Mike, I'll ask you a question that I think most people know the answer to, but I'd like to hear you elaborate more on it. Does the business of boxing prevent the best fights from happening?
Absolutely. First of all, before you even get the best fight, the fighter should be the first person to get his check and write check. Somebody shouldn't get their check before him and then say, hey, you get this. That should never happen. That's happening now in boxing. Why should somebody get, I used to understand, even when I was like, why should they have your check and pay you when you gave him the job of being your promoter? You should pay him. You should have his money paying him because he works for you. Everybody works for the fighter. Everybody thinks the fighter works for them. The fighter's the boss.
And skill challenge promotion will be for the fighter and for the fans to give them the biggest fights. That will be our motto. That will be our thing. You know, that's the problem with the fights right now. You see, for 5-6 years to have one big fight. And the problem, to me, what I saw in our business is not just calling the fighter and let's fight. We have promoters, we have networks, we have things to do. And it's so hard that fans get bored, fans get worried. And what's good with doing the fights for the fans is now fans is going to the UFC, going to the other combat sports, boxing fans. And for me, my vision is to bring back fans to boxing and be bigger and better.
And that will change the landscape of how boxing is done. What a vision, of course, aligned with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia's vision of 2030. I'll wrap it up. Prince Khalid, if you don't mind asking you this question. You said that the fights would be based out of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This will become the new focal point of boxing. Will Skill Challenge Promotions only promote fights exclusively in the kingdom?
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia will be the main attraction to me, to Skill Challenge, because with the guidance of the MOS, the Ministry of Sports, that's what made us. The Ministry of Sports made the Skill Challenge. So we'll try to make the biggest, best fights in Saudi Arabia, but we'll work outside Saudi Arabia. And now we have like some signings with other countries around us, but still Saudi Arabia will be the base of the biggest fights.
So
I'll give Saudi Arabia the Champions League and all other countries the Euro League. So that's how it's called.
So you heard it here, Skill Challenge Promotions based out of and having all of the main fights in the kingdom, but it will be a global movement, a global promotion based out of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Outstanding. We have a special presentation, and this was something new that I had found out about recently. We have, of course, the president of the...
I told you there would be a moment. Well, guess what? The moment's here. The fight is coming. Let's go!